This is Joycey.
And Blake.
And welcome to
Savagely Scaled.
our affiliate segment.
Yes. So we're back with the affiliate segment, and we're here at CrossFit Las Vegas, and we're sitting down with Maddie, and I'm super excited to pick her brain about this affiliate and her journey. And she's so inspiring.
Exactly.
Like looking at her Instagram and everything, and she really is.
Right.
And
yeah, we're excited. Let's go jump into it.
All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, so let's get into it. Well, first, before we jump into the gym and a little bit about your members and all of that, tell us a little bit about yourself, your CrossFit journey, how you started getting into CrossFit yourself.
Okay. Well, let's see. I've been CrossFitting now for probably 12, 13 years.
Wow.
And it started, a long time ago. I used to live in Utah, before I moved here to Nevada.
Yeah.
And when I lived in Utah, my daughter used to CrossFit. And my daughter, Alexa, she CrossFitted, and she tried to get me into a CrossFit gym for a long time. I was doing like this boot camp training stuff. And she's like, come try it out. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. That looks kind of tough.
Intimidating. Yeah.
It looked intimidating, but I thought, okay, I think I'm strong enough for this. I've been boot camp training for like 6 years and I can do it. So I showed up for a trial day and did a class with her. And I'll never forget my first time ever trying CrossFit. They were doing rope climbs.
Wow.
And I had never done any rope climbs before. And, they started out with the progression steps and everything. And so I went to go try and do it. And of course, I couldn't even lift my own body weight up. And I was like, I was very intimidated at that moment and kind of like nervous about it. So I walked out of the CrossFit gym that day and didn't return. And it wasn't until I moved here to Las Vegas with my husband that he said, why don't we give that another try? My daughter continued doing it, and she was involved in CrossFit. And I said, okay, well, he found a local gym here. And so we went and tried it out. Well, I was coming off of an ACL surgery. And so I had close to a year that I hadn't really been training that much or working out as much. And I had put a lot of weight on doing that, about 80 pounds heavier than my normal weight. And so I was extra intimidated to try. They said, let's go give it a try. So I did. And this was probably, like I said, like 13 years ago. And so I went to a local gym, and it was kind of CrossFit cardio style there. And
nice.
It was an early class. I was doing a 5 a.m. class then, and showed up, and the community obviously was amazing. Of course, I had heard this from my daughter about community and things, but got to experience it firsthand because we started our workout and we started warming up. And I remember, like, I could hardly even jog. Like, we were just warming up, and I thought, is this the workout? Like, I'm exhausted.
Warm-ups are always the hardest part, I feel sometimes.
They are. It was so hard. And I was telling a member here today, I said, someone turned around and said to me, this is just the warm-up. And I'm like, I thought, how am I ever going to do this? But it was at the end of class that got me, because someone had turned to me and said, will we see you tomorrow? You coming tomorrow, or I'll, and I'm like, I felt obligated. Like, so I said, of course, I'll be back. And if it wasn't for that comment, I probably wouldn't have come back. But I ended up waking up and saying, oh, I told that person. I didn't even know their name. I'm like, I told that person I'd be there.
Aww.
And so I came back, and that led to another day and another day. And here we are 12, 13 years later.
Wow.
So that's what kind of got me going.
There's just that hint of like accountability, but that's not like super pressured accountability.
Right. It's like a polite accountability.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, wow, they want me to come back. And it wasn't like the coach or the person who's like, hey, this is the membership and money wise, like how some of those 24-hour fitness places are. It's like, wow, that's like a human being who's wanting me to come back.
Yeah. Like I'm just a stranger to them at first. And just the fact that they were so welcoming and like so supportive. And I knew that like, I sucked that day, but they made me feel like I was actually doing something again.
Yeah, like you were seen. And,
that I was seen, and that this was going to be fine. Like, just come back and let's give it another day feel to it with no big pressure of any kind.
Yeah.
Made me feel like, okay, let me try this out again. So I came back.
That's awesome.
And day after day, that just became like those strangers became friends,
Yep.
and you get to know them on a different level. And then it's no longer anything about what the workout is. It's more about, I want to go see my friends in the morning. I want to work out with them. You have a good time. And at the same time, you're getting fit.
Yeah. Can't hurt, right?
Right. Little by little.
And just out of curiosity, is your daughter still doing CrossFit?
She does. She comes
Nice.
here. Yeah. She's doing CrossFit still. Most of my family does it. So I have 4 children and 2 grandchildren and my husband. So out of them, 3 of my 4 children CrossFit right now here at this gym. And then my 2 grandchildren come to our kids class. And my dad, who's 75, comes to our Living Fit class.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's
He's a little Energizer bunny.
You're like, it runs in the family.
Yeah, he loves it. He loves it. I love hearing him say, I'm so sore. Like, I didn't know I had these muscles over here. Because he is a go-go person. But his first few classes, I would say, how was it? Did you enjoy it? And he, oh my gosh, I didn't know I had, muscles in this area that I hurt here and there. And I said, oh, that's a good hurt.
Yeah. It's a good sore. And
Right.
I'm like, are you injured or are you sore?
Right, because there's a difference. That's so cute.
For sure.
When did you become, because you're an owner with Mike, when did you guys become the owners of this gym?
So we picked up this gym in around July of 2024.
Okay.
And it was CrossFit Raw Appeal. I met Mike when I went to the gym prior to this gym.
Okay.
And so he was doing all the programming for the master's programming class that they had. And so someone had told me about that and said, why don't you come over and pop out and check out this class we have? I was even at a different gym, that I worked out at, but through word of mouth, someone said, hey, we think you'd be great for this. Why don't you come try out this class? And so I came into the class and I met Mike for the first time and really liked it. I was actually looking for someone that could do my own programming, additional programming. And so we had a talk and I just really connected with him. He started doing all my personal programming. And so we built a relationship that way. And there was an opportunity potentially that we could have picked up the gym prior that we were at. And so we're doing some negotiations on that, trying to make that deal happen. It wasn't really the best fit for us at the time. And so that gym closed. And so we were looking for another gym to go to, and we had a good sized group of us that were looking for a new home. And so we checked out a few different options that we had and ended up coming for a visit here. I had only been to this gym one time prior to coming in to check it out with Mike for a competition they had. And so I couldn't really remember really how the gym was or anything. I had been here once for a competition. And so Mike and I came over and walked in the door, and we were greeted by Eli, who runs the gym for us still. She's our operations manager, and she was amazing. Her greet was just so warm and welcoming. And we looked at the space and we were like, oh, this feels good. Let's give this a try, And so we brought a group of us came over here to test it out for like a week, 2 weeks. But we kind of knew instantly after our first couple days that this felt like our next place to be. So we didn't come to this gym thinking to buy it or anything or to be affiliate. We just came here because we needed a new home. And we really liked the setup and we liked the owners. We liked the community, the space, everything kind of fit what we were looking for. And, so when we came over, we were probably members here for, I want to say I came over here in like September, October of 23.
Okay.
And then in 2024, an opportunity a few months prior had come up that there might potentially be an opportunity to be part owner in the business. And then from there, we worked into just taking over the affiliate. And so that was nice. That was what we were looking to want to do, not when we first came, but it was always a goal like, hey, if this is something that came up again, we knew we kind of wanted to connect and do that. Mike and I are kind of like yin and yang to each other, our personalities, we kind of really complement each other in that way and give a good balance. Mike has a great set of skill sets with programming and I've done businesses before. And so it was just a great merger for him and I to come together in a partnership And we're both very passionate about CrossFit too.
Right.
Me more as a member athlete, him more as a coach.
Yeah.
Experience there. And so it was just a great opportunity.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I know Chad, one of your coaches, like he said that when I came for level 2 with Dave, and he's like, they're yin and yang, but they mesh together. Like you need both of them to have success because the other one picks up where the other one doesn't have that skill or needs help in that. And I was like, I feel like the gyms that we've been to, we have been to singular owners, but we've also been to team ones. And it just seems like they pick each other up, or they know like, okay, this is the person who's like the face, or the person that people come to with things. This is the one who's making sure this runs very well. And then we can switch it up. And if anything needs help, compared to it's just on one person's shoulder. And that's very hard. So I was like, yeah, like I feel like those are better. And sometimes I'm like, when you have a male and a female, it also
It's like a good balance help.
Each other. So it was nice. I know that he's not here, but but then coming for my level 2, and we also had a coach come here for her level 1. It was CrossFit Raw Appeal at the time, but she's like, wait until you see their setup. And so like when Dave walked in and me, like we both were like, this is an amazing setup. So I can see like you guys coming through the door and be like, I like this building. I like what we're going to grow here. So it's really cool.
Yeah, it's been a nice journey. The community we obviously fell in love with right away. And yeah, Mike and I definitely, we work very well together. Foundationally, we both have such a love for our community and for the sport itself as CrossFit. So, him having the background he has, the background I have, it was a perfect match. And we both play different parts in it, and we have our strengths. And so we were able to communicate very well together. But I think the one thing that we have going for us is at the end of day, we both have such a love for the members, a love for the community, a love for the sport. And we're really passionate about seeing it grow and providing the best we can for our community here, and as a member myself, I was telling someone prior to this, us meeting together here, that to me, when I come in every morning, I sometimes don't even think about like the fact that I own the affiliate or that I'm an owner or anything like that. Like this is just something I've always done. And so for me, it's more just, it's another morning with our friends and, coming in, get a good workout in. And so I don't personally coach right now. Mike does coaching. He does programming stuff. And we have an amazing team of coaches here. So I don't have to be part of that, which I like, because I can get to, focus on my workouts, what I'm passionate about doing with that. And so that, it's worked out really great. I've been really, excited to see how things have transformed here as we've picked it up and put, time and energy into trying to make it, a little better each time, we revisit things. So there's always, ways to make things better and stronger. So you have to always have like some fresh eyes again, like 100%. Look away, turn back, and see what needs to be done. What are the needs of the community? What are what are they feeling? What can we do to make it just a pinch better, and value for them and for as a whole?
Yeah. Well, you guys are doing an amazing job. We were just talking earlier about the board you have with the new members and the members that have been here for like a year or 3 years, and the cute little Polaroids with all. I'm like, that's a neat idea to not only help members kind of get to know each other and know names, because let me tell you, I forget names all the time. So I'm like being able to point out a picture and be like, okay, that's this person. Let me go say hi to them next time I see them in class. I think that's an amazing way to build that community. And it's great to see all the different inventive ways that many gyms accomplish that. So I thought that was a beautiful thing to note, at least.
I love that. Like one of your members, Ricky, I just like started talking to him and he goes, oh yeah, I came for Murph, and he pointed to his picture. I go, how do you like that? Because like for me, coming from like a coach like background with it, I'm like, I really like this for members to get to know. Like, but how do you feel? And he's like, I really liked it because it didn't make me feel alone. It made me feel like a part of the community. And then people started noticing like I was here. He's like, it wasn't just the picture, but it like that sense of I'm part of something, so I
Right.
have to come back and I have to do this. And they're cheering for me because I'm on a board, whether it's for cheering or not. And I was like, that is so awesome. And I was telling them also, like, there's a board up front with also newer members and when they signed up or whatnot. And I was like,
Yeah,
I
check
like
that
that
out.
too, because when we talk about newer members coming in, like, I usually know like a heads up, like, hey, this
Right.
is their first class and introduce them. But then when they come back like the next day, because we have members who come back every day or they do 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I'm like, well, now I got to reintroduce them. And sometimes they're like on a spotlight. But I was like, a picture would be really cool because everybody's like, hey, what's this?
Instead of,
Oh, that's their, I've seen them.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I'm going to be like, hey, good job coming in today.
Mhm.
So I'm like, that's a actually very welcoming thing for new members, but also like a highlight.
right.
Yeah.
And I feel like as adults, we don't get
We
as
forget
much.
about that
Yeah.
sometimes.
And we don't get highlights for things, and it's hard to make friends. And being with CrossFit for so long, I see like the switch going into community strong.
Mhm.
I know it's always been there, but like it to me, like the past like 5 years, I'm like, everybody's building their community and it's a loving community. Coming in here and having people just like embrace that and be like, hi, how are you? Though there were a couple people that I was like, I've never gotten told no for an interview, but okay. It is intimidating. I can be intimidating.
We could be a lot sometimes,
Yeah.
Blake.
You
We
didn't
just come
warn
up to
me.
people.
Yeah. And I was like, that's okay.
They're like, whoa,
Yeah.
who are you?
But like anybody I was introduced to, or even after, I would like, no, you're going to do the interview. It'll be okay. They're like, that wasn't that bad. I'm like, see, it's not. And they're like, yeah, I really like that. I'm like, it's cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. You know, this was something they had going before we even became part of this
Oh,
gym. So
really?
I love that that's continued. It's super helpful for sure.
Yeah.
You know, when we have a large batch of members here. So when we became part of the community as athletes and then also became owner affiliates, the affiliate owners, there's a lot of names and a lot of people to
Yeah.
learn
Oh, yeah.
and a lot of classes. We have a lot of classes. And it's also very helpful for the coaches, right? So if you're a morning coach, like you may not know the new members that come in the evenings or vice
Right.
versa. So being able to just, you know, like a Saturday today where you're here, you know, you see a variety of all class times members come and you might be like, who's that person? But if you had a chance to see a face or grab a name off the board
Right,
and just kind
yeah,
of refresh your memory even, like it's so helpful. So
true, yeah.
it's been nice having that.
It is. Yeah. And his
Yeah.
face when he's like, yeah, I feel like I was a part of something once I got my picture up there. And I was like, that's awesome.
It's
to
official.
just hear.
And it's kind of crazy because we have a lot of members that have the same name.
Yeah.
So we have
Yeah.
a lot of Jess and a lot of Kaylee's and a lot of, you know, so we have like a lot of names that are also multiple. So getting a face just to, the spelling could be different
Yep.
or whatever. So it's helpful.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I love it. I think it's
Yeah.
sweet.
I think we'll need a bigger board because I think
Yeah, that's what I would, yeah.
I think we're
getting
running
there.
out of space up there. So I think we're going to have
Yeah.
to curve around the wall and add more board.
Touching back, because you said class times. What are your class times?
So we, as of this year, we are probably one of the few CrossFit gyms, but we have as early as 4 a.m. now. So
Oh, that's right. Me and Dave
Yeah.
both looked at each other and were like, who would coach that at our gym? He's like, I wouldn't. I was like, they can't pay me
Maybe
enough.
Chris.
yeah, it's a little bit of a running joke with our coaches too when we first suggested it.
Wow.
It was kind of a joke, like, really, you know, that early? But our 5 a.m. was so big.
Packed.
I mean, we had close to 30 people and 5 a.m. So
Wow.
people had said, okay, I could use a 4 a.m., whether it's
Mhm.
nurses or teachers or
Yeah.
whatever that need to get up earlier and get things done or their schedules or, you know, whatever their work situation is.
Mhm.
There was a batch. So we put it on the board and said, you know, write your name here if you think this is a class that you would consider. And that day, I think we probably were close to 8 to 10 names. I thought, okay,
Wow.
all right.
That's a
So people are
class. Yeah.
serious.
There's a
Okay.
need. Yeah.
And so we decided as of this year, January, we would test it out and out the chute. It was very good. And we have
Wow.
most of our days we get double digit members.
Mhm.
And for those mornings, it's hit and miss like any class. Some
Oh, yeah.
classes, you know, but it's a great class time. And you can't beat like
getting it done.
Some of the 5 a.m. it thinned it out just a pinch. Like we have like 3 or 4 that used to come to 5 that are more of a 4. I come to 4 now. So I'm up at 3 and I come to 4 and it gives me time, just that extra hour more to do everything. And I love it. But we have that time. Then it goes 5. We have a 6 o'clock and then, I'm sorry. So 4, 5, 6, and then it shuts down for a little bit. And then we open up 8:30, 9:30, 10:30.
Okay.
And then Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, we have our Living Fit class, which is at 12. And then we have 4:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, and a 6:30.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then Saturdays we do 2 morning classes. And then Sundays we have an endurance class that's at 9 for our members. We have mobility class a couple times a month. And then we also have barbell on Sundays.
I like it. Yeah.
Oh, really nice.
And then we have our kids program. So that's Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, 4:30 to 5:30.
Okay.
So for our kids.
Wide range. I love it. A mix of different
A
things.
little bit of everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something for everyone here.
Yeah. So you can't have that excuse of like, oh, I can't do that. No, we do have that. We offer that.
And on every day of the week.
I know. We're open.
We're open 7 days a week and we have a class for everybody and as early, well, I wouldn't say as late, but as early as you need.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is
that's
good
amazing.
compared to being like super late, like having an 8:30 or something like that. That
I
is.
can't imagine. I give it to anybody that works out at 8:30 at night.
Yeah. That I don't know.
Kudos to them.
Yeah. I'm like,
No.
maybe I would want to coach 4. Don't give me the late one where I'm out like at 10. Like,
no. Man.
But those ones are the ones that say the same thing about our 4 a.m. coaches.
Yep.
It's true.
You know,
Yep.
kudos to our 4 a.m. coaches and 5 a.m.
Yep.
coaches. You know, they're amazing to do it.
That's
and,
true.
Yeah.
you know, they come on in and they have a great attitude. And I love it.
Oh, man. And you also have clinics, right? You were.
Yeah. So we have, you know, we have Margot that's been coming and doing a bunch of clinics. So she did, you know, a mindset clinic today.
Oh,
and,
wow.
we're always working on a few different clinics that we have going on. So, you know, we try to add as much value as we can to our members and, you know, a variety of different things that are going on out there.
Yeah.
So, you know, having like a gymnastics clinic here or, you know, whatever, we try to get a variety of different things that the members can use, but it's fun. Yeah. We like it. We like adding a few things extra. Yeah.
Which is
We have a
good.
little room in the schedule to wiggle some more things
There you
in
go.
here
Just
and
a
there.
That's
tiny
always a
bit.
good thing. Yeah.
What does your on-ramp or onboarding look like when a new member walks in the door and wants to start? What does that look like for them?
So we do have an on-ramp program that, you know, they can come in and sign up for. If they don't have any experience in CrossFit or are not familiar with it, but they've heard about it and they want to try it out, we do have an amazing on-ramp program they can sign up for and an amazing coach attached to that they get that one-on-one with. And then based off their performance in that and their knowledge there, then they can roll into regular classes. But we do have that as an option for them to come in and get started. And for the kids too, same. We have an on-ramp for kids too if it's needed. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Is it a certain amount of days or is it just like how the
I
coach
think it's
is
2
doing?
days right now that they're doing. I think it's really a good feel between the coach and them to see, you know, if there's more time needed. Are they at a position where they feel good enough to go into class and can be in class? Do they need extra eyes still? We currently don't do a ton of those on-ramps. And so it's something we are continuously developing we changed it up recently over the last few months and just working on perfecting it a little bit better. But we have a great program that's good for a couple days with them and then try to get them into class. You know, keep them engaged with the members and stuff. But they usually, when they come in, they're usually here when members are here. So, you know, everybody's always like, oh, you're a new face. Like, I haven't met you yet. What's your name? And so last time we had one, I was like trying not to interrupt too much by getting to know the new person, like, because they were in the middle of it. And I was, oh, they're in an on-ramp. I just didn't know that face. So,
Which is nice that you're like, okay, that's a new person. And everybody around is like, okay, we want to get
The
to know that
welcoming
person.
committee.
Yep.
Yes.
The good old welcoming
Big ol'
committee.
help. That definitely helps for sure.
What is your, let me see.
Your offerings, I guess, in terms of like, do you offer different like packages in terms of membership? Is there?
Yeah, we do. So, you know, we kind of made our memberships based off of like loyalty or longevity with us, right?
Okay,
so
gotcha.
we removed like past type of discounts that were there because it's kind of hard to manage that with our size of a gym.
Oh, yeah.
So we changed it to where you have a pricing rate for a year commitment, a 6-month commitment, or a month-to-month commitment.
Okay.
And based off that, you have a certain pricing. And
Gotcha.
that seems to work pretty well. We do, most of our members are long-term. So we don't have a lot, of turnaround in that area. Although we are very open because we have to be a little bit flexible because we do have people that move. We are near a military base.
Yeah.
We are, people do have reasoning that they do need to come and go, or maybe it wasn't what they thought or what they needed for themselves. And so you do, I think, need to have some flexibility in being able to work with members. You want to give them the best experience when they're here. Hopefully they have built some relationships while they're here. And then we understand life happens.
Yeah.
And sometimes things need to be put on hold or switched up a little bit. And so we try to be really flexible in those areas. But we do offer a few different varieties for people that come in. And then we have different pricing for obviously our kiddos and our Living Fit program. And we feel like we're really fairly based in the market. Like our pricing, I think, is probably one of the best, in my opinion, for what we offer and the experience that you'll get here and for what we provide. You get like real good value in that pricing. So yeah, it's worked out pretty well. We just had our last price change in January. No expectations of changing that anymore. So, we made that change and now we're kind of good to move forward.
Nice.
Yeah.
How many members do you guys have? Like an estimate or?
Well, right now we have over 300 members.
Nice.
So we would like to see that continue to grow. We have the space to let that grow.
Yeah.
And, we are always open. Obviously, we like to have people bring their friends and family and try us out. Our kids program has grown exponentially too. We started with a few kids. They had a program originally that was more geared towards like summer, time. And during school, it wasn't as big. That kind of grew. We had some changes that we did there, and that program is doing amazing. Our kids are doing really great there. So yeah, we'd love to continue to grow. I mean, we have the space and we have the times and the coaching staff available. A lot of our classes have double coaches in them. We want to make sure we have great coverage. So, everybody gets that attention and gets, we're really big on the quality of our coaching and helping those coaches develop. And so we provide a lot of support in that area for them to grow. And in turn, they are naturally amazing individuals as themselves. So like their relationships with the community are very genuine. And, their knowledge behind that is just like an extra plus, right? Like they are great with our members naturally. And then just the skill sets that they bring and their desire to continue to grow. Like, so we had 3 of our coaches and the one you came to that were getting their L2s. So most of our coaches are at an L2 level on up. And so, that's always a focus for us is to provide the resources for them to have coach development.
Yeah, because we had Chad, Michaela
and Brenly.
Brenly. I was like, I'm about to say Braxlin, and I know it's not Braxlin. Brenly. And I was like, how awesome to have that. Because when I took my level 1, and it was a gym downtown, or I can't even remember what it was called. There was only one, but there was like 30 of us who were taking their level 1. It was one coach that was from that. But like to see like 3 who are engaged and want to like keep going. And I know Chad has taken it before, but like to see the other 2 just like so enthralled with like, I just want to learn. I was like, yeah, me too.
Yeah, they're great like that. And they get together and, one of the coaches helps the other coaches come together too. And they just share information.
Yeah.
And so I've seen a lot of growth amongst the team over the last few months, like building those relationships and that trust and like knowing to have each other's back in that area.
Right.
And, encourage each other to continue to learn.
Yeah.
I think this is something you always have to,
yeah.
Whether you're a member or a coach, like we're always constantly learning.
True.
So.
And you want to, or you're going to stay stagnant, or you're going to become stagnant, and then you're going to leave.
Yeah.
And that's, like you said, as a member or as a coach. How many coaches do you have?
So I hope I don't get this number wrong, but I'm going to say we have 10.
They're like, you forgot
10
me.
or 11,
You don't have to name them, so if somebody gets left out.
Who's your
Probably the
favorite? Not
funny-
just
They're all my favorite, just
Yeah.
like I tell my kids.
good answer.
But it was
They really truly are.
Yeah.
Actually, they all bring something to the table. I love all their personalities are amazing. Like they all are just awesome human beings. Like they all bring something to the table. So there's not really anything negative I could say about any of them. Not like I would here.
Yeah. You're like, so
Wouldn't do
so does this, and we're taking this out, right?
Cutting it.
edit.
Oh man.
But it was nice, like doing the workout and having
yeah.
both of those coaches with a big class, and just the encouragement. Like I could hear that they were giving
Same.
people,
Mhm.
and like tuning in, like great leg drive. Okay,
Yep.
try this. Let's
We
do
all
this.
were. I felt like we all were talked to at some point, and
Right?
that, I feel like you don't get that at every gym.
Yeah.
And it felt like, like I at least saw 2 people checking on me in my form and complimenting, and I was like, yes, this is the stuff I love in coaching. You know, like
Yeah.
that validation that I'm doing it right, or I need to fix anything, right?
I feel like there was a period of time where we kind of lost some of that, you know?
Oh yeah, 100%.
And like I've been to 5 different gyms here in Vegas over the years, and all amazing owners, all amazing relationships I had in all. You know, they're all great gyms. You know, but I think somewhere along the way we've kind of lost that that focus on, you know, coach development and making sure that their relationship with the members and focused on the members and making sure we're teaching and coaching is there, the quality of that. And I've had that in my own experience, you know, just seeing that kind of dwindle. And so that was a high priority for us, is to make sure we bring that, you know, and that we provide that to the community. And it was a little adjustment, I think, you know, some coaches even aren't used to being told you have to, you know, we are encouraging you to do this, or we're going to work on coach development. We're going to have these meetings and we're going to practice these things. And so that's actually a big area where Mike focuses on, like, that's his arena. Like, coaches with him, you know, he has worked very closely with making sure that we provide the resources we provide. You know, we help them with their certifications. We provide a reimbursement program for that because we want them to be able to have options to be able to take these classes and certifications. You know, they're not cheap. So, you know, it's important to have some help there. So we've provided that. And, you know, they meet every month. They do Zoom calls. I've dropped in on their development, you know, group little meetings, and it's really been a good, you know, help with getting all the coaches together on the same page with what our goal is as a community to provide and what is expected of coaches here at CrossFit Las Vegas.
Yeah.
You know, needs to be a certain standard, I think. And I think we need to bring that back. I think hopefully most gyms are doing that. I don't know. because now I'm here. I don't really drop into a lot of other gyms unless I'm traveling around the world. I have dropped into various gyms around the world. And I've seen, I mean, that's my personal experience. I felt like over time, I noticed a dwindling in that area. And so hopefully members feel like we are bringing that back here and that they get that here. So it is important to have that, you know, that one-on-one, that touch, that tip, that comment, you know, and also know your member enough to know how much to do of that.
Right.
And how
That's the
much
hard
not
part.
to do of that.
Yeah.
Oh man, you guys are like, I tell
do
this
the
to like,
dance.
it's like a therapist. You're sometimes our therapist because we come in and sometimes we just tell you guys like, don't even talk to me. I just need to come in here, work out, and I need to win today, right? And then some days you're feeling social and you want to talk to everyone, but as coaches, Blake, I could speak for her. I'm like, she's very self-aware of a lot of the members, and she knows like, oh, she's at the corner. I know not to like bother her and let her do her thing, you know. And it takes a certain person to be able to catch that for multiple people. I mean, you're talking about 300 members. Like that's a good number.
Yeah,
It is. And there's times when I go and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna let you have your spot over here, and you know, deal with everybody over here. But safety is my key. So if something's going wrong, I still have to come to you. You can have your little moment and your little side here, and you could be safe here. But we have to do this. And it's a therapy moment, but it's even newer members like Ricky, going back to him, and he's like, they would correct me and it's a slight correct, or they would encourage me, but they always said my name. And it is like, that is one thing that I learned from my boss when I went into coaching. He's like, you always need to know a name, or you need to give somebody a compliment. You need to cheer for them. Make sure you are touching on everybody, because then it is hard, but then you get clicks. And I know some gyms were doing that too, where you're like, oh, they only cheer for this people, or only 5 a.m. gets this. And it's nice to kind of get refreshed. Like when we go to affiliates now, and I forget who I was talking to, but I was like, it's the affiliates that reach back to us have that passion and want to show us and want us to learn from them, and are like, this is what our community is, and this is why we have this, and this is what we love about the community, and we're passionate about it. So just seeing it with this big class and seeing your 2 coaches touching on everybody and making sure that compliment. And it wasn't just like good leg drive and there was no leg drive. There was like, with Emily, I was like, absolutely. He is like, he key points. He's just not throwing out compliments. He's key pointing out what she's doing great, and he's encouraging it. And I'm like, that is hard. That is hard to teach somebody to do, or to even want to be a coach like that. To that compliment is touching on something that you're actually doing, you know, which was great to just hear and see around, and seeing the other members encourage each other. And these are the affiliates that I'm like, this is what CrossFit means to me. And it's nice that I can see it blossoming again.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I have to agree with you. Like, you know, I feel like everybody has something to bring to the table, and it doesn't matter like if you're the best athlete in the room or a new person, right? Like, it's important to get to know each other, because there's so much that we share, and that everybody has something that they can bring. And we don't know what everybody's going through or where they're at necessarily in their journey. You know, maybe, you know, they'll connect with someone that has nothing to do with fitness, but that hello or high five or whatever it is, you know, just catching the name. And that sometimes that could be life-saving. We have no idea how deep that runs, right? No. And these basic little things are just
make a difference.
It makes the whole difference. I think it makes a whole difference. And so I think just taking time to get to know, and obviously in a gym this size, a lot of people have worked out together. They know the people in their class, and it's not easy always to branch out and for some people, and to get to know other members, you know, that they've never seen or that are in a different class. But I think we do a pretty good job here. The members do a pretty good job here of getting to know each other, and they're very supportive of each other. Yeah. Whether someone's moving or, you know, having a baby. And we have a few of those. We had, you know, a mommy wad. Yeah, we had a mommy wad last week. You know, we had five moms having babies, you know, and so, you know, the members have come together for that. Today we did a hero wad, you know, for a member that knew someone that had passed. And so, you know, everybody's very supportive of each other in these different events. And I just love that about them. I'm really proud of like this community, and just feel really proud to be part of it because of that. You know, they've just come together in so many different ways that I've been able to witness since I've been here. And I would say I'm probably one of the ones that have been here the least amount of time. Most of these people are like OG here, you know, they've been around for years before me. I get to work out with people that have been here from the very beginning. Wow. You know, and so the fact that they're still around, and, you know, they are still here for each other and here for the new members that come along, that says a lot about their character. And I love being associated with other people like that, you know, that genuinely care about other people outside of not just fitness, you know, just like they care about their lives. They care about what's going on in their families. They care about if they're having hard times at their job, or they've had a loss in the family, or have a situation, you know, of a move or something challenging in their life outside of not just fitness, you know, like other things. And that's where I think we grow, you know, like as a community, as just our friendships develop in that way. Yeah. And that's why I think you don't just keep a friendship just because you're at the same gym or whatever. Like, you know, our friendships aren't because of the gym we're at. It's because we've established friendships that run deeper than just being here at a gym together, and have shared things about our lives that are important, that, you know, we've shared with other people that have cared. True. Yeah. And so whether it's time to move on, or it's whether completely, or, you know, just temporarily, like that friendship carries on. You know, I think that's important. Yeah.
Putting in that effort to be an adult friend. Yeah. You know, and we do collect here and have something in common. But then outside, when we meet up, we're like, we have other things that are deeper and in common. And it's really nice that that's what's happening.
Yeah. If you think about it, like, just think about like your day when you go to other places, your grocery store, your job, whatever. Like I'd probably say coming here to the box is like the place I'm most social, like on a different level.
Yep. Oh,
yeah.
You know, I don't think about that so much when I'm out and about, you know, which I could be better at. But right, we're all running around, we're doing our thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, so the fact that you can get that here and make friends or connections in your busy schedule, you know, and is great. You know, I just think that's so much I don't find that too much in my other places, you know, maybe like my church group and things like that. But like, there's not very many other spaces I am wrapped into that I get than what I get from here.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, I should go to Safeway and be like, "Hi, how are you doing? Are you picking that fruit?" That is right. But then I get looked at weirdly compared to here.
What's
where
in
I'm
your
like,
basket?
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Like they must go to a CrossFit gym.
Weird.
Oh man, that's a good point. But I think there's something so vulnerable in working out together too, right? There's like something in the struggle of going through something like that together. And I think, like you said, well, for me, I work from home, so going to the gym is like the highlight of my day because, like you said, that's my 1 or 2 hours where I get to be social. And there's even times with Emily where I stay there till closing, and I'm like, has 2 hours passed and we've been talking this whole time? It's so easy to, like you said, lose yourself in that community, and it's great to feel that when you walk into a gym. So.
Oh yeah, think about like the range of emotions you've experienced at a gym, right? Like I've seen everything from just pure joy, right?
Yeah.
Whether someone's PR'd or like, you know, some amazing news has happened, to like downright tears, bawling, you know, because either a disappointment in something personally in their life that's finally surfaced and they're getting it out through their exercise, or maybe a frustration they had in, you know, the workout that they did or whatever. I think, and I've even experienced that. Like I've had every range of emotion, you know, over the years. One minute, there's times I'll be bawling outside my door, I'll be like, it's okay. And there's times where I'm just like, I'm crying because of joy. Like I got my first bar muscle up. Like I'm like high-fiving and I could cartwheel myself out to my car. Like, so, I mean, there's few places you can experience all ranges of emotion, right? And this is one place you can. And I've seen it over the years. And it's great to see people be that vulnerable, you know, to open up that side of themselves and know that this is a safe space to be able to do that.
Right. And being behind that space and being like, yeah, I created this, you know, it's great.
Yeah. Or helped it along. So speaking of community, so I know that I went to the bathroom and I saw some things. So I know you guys have stuff going for Murph. Like you have a 6-week, I think.
Yeah, Margot's actually putting that on, and she's amazing she's been so supportive of our community, and they just absolutely love her. She does our mobility classes. She coaches here you know, once in a while. She does coaching classes. She is offering a free Murph, like 6-week program to ramp people up for Murph. Yeah, because a lot of people maybe want something to prep for that or have never done Murph and have no idea. And so that's offered. So yeah, we have like a lot of little extras we kind of throw in there, and she's been great. You know,
that's so cool.
We love having her, you know, associated with the gym. And so there's been some great classes we've been able to have because of her skill set and her experience, like our mindset class today being an example of one. You know, that was a great class, just kind of being able to share goals and how to obtain them, and our struggles with trying to get through them, and, you know, consistency and just kind of surfacing why we are not hitting these things or what we can do, and how we can also keep ourselves leveled in life, and kind of, you know, through breathing and meditation and journaling. And so she offers amazing like support and programs that help with, you know, health and well-being and the mindset of things. So, and she has had a lifetime of experience, so of various things. So what she shares with us is like invaluable.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very.
Yeah. That's impressive.
Yeah.
And
we
then,
need a little bit of that.
Yeah. And then I know, like, touching on, you had the light lifting or life. What was the
Living Fit?
Living Fit.
Yeah.
And what is that geared towards?
So our Living Fit program we started this year because we realized that we kind of have a group of like seniors, you know, or people that are going through recovering from something. Maybe they have a shoulder issue, and like, so regular CrossFit classes, maybe they need to take a break from. So our Living Fit program has been amazing because it's offered a route for people to come in and do things at a much more scaled level. So it's not necessarily CrossFit they're doing. The programming is more geared to be able to work with seniors, work with people that are working through certain things they're recovering right now. That class we're trying to grow that class right now. We're testing out. So we have a small batch of members that are there. We've had, my dad comes to that one. He loves it. And, he stays moving in that. We have another gentleman that is been kind of working with a health issue that comes. Another one that has come with an injury that they are recovering from. So it's just a great option for them to come in. It's 3 days a week. It's like an hour, like 45 minutes to an hour. So it gives them also a route for community too, right? So a lot of seniors don't have that route,
No, they get shut in, or you can't do things because you don't always it is sad. People pass away. So you have people around you that you've known for years, and then it starts to dwindle, and family members, if you don't live close to them, or just having that outreach of I can do things. I can still do things. Like how you said your dad was saying, I don't know about these muscles.
I had these muscles, yeah.
Yeah. And it's giving them that key, because I tell a lot of people and they're like, oh yeah, my dad or my grandpa was very angry. I go, think about it. When you become a certain age, we start to take things away. And they can't control that, but they can control them coming here, and they can control doing a workout. And not CrossFit's amazing. I love it, but not everybody can go in there and be like, well, now they're doing box jumps and I have to stand on a weight. When they have that community that's very similar to them, it helps to encourage that confidence and be like, okay, this isn't taken away from me. I'm still doing something, and it's not bare minimum. I'm doing great things for myself.
Yeah. And it's so important. I mean, as we age, obviously, to stay moving, right? So this gives them a route to be able to come in and have other people that they can talk to. They've got the music a little bit playing. They've got, just the social aspect alone to me has been really important, because, my dad, I'll use him as an example because I kind of know his background, but, he takes care of my mom for the most part. And so he's very involved in his church. He's very active with doing service projects and things like that, but he doesn't have a separate friend group. And most of his attention time is to us as family or his kids or grandkids or whatever. And so this was separate out of that. This was outside of his church thing. It was outside of family. He was able to come meet other people that he's not always associated with, and just have an hour to himself, right? To do something for himself. Yep. And so I think that's I love the program, because I think that the social aspect of it alone, I know so many seniors. I work with a ton of seniors in my personal life, with some other stuff I'm involved in. And so I see it all day long. They're alone. They don't move as well as they used to. The aches and pains have taken over. Yep. They've went from, being active, having an active lifestyle, to that dwindled to, the walker, the wheelchair, the cane, this and that, having trouble getting up and down. Yeah. My oldest friend that I have, she's turning 95 here in July, and, it's challenging. She still is very independent. She gets herself up and down. When I come to visit her, I make her get up and down out of her chair by herself. And so I think it's just important to have and it's not again, it's not just for seniors, because it offers options for people that are also just dealing with certain issues for recovery, they maybe a shoulder, a knee, or whatever, and they need to take a slower pace for a while, or not feel committed to a level of maybe a CrossFit class, even though we know that could be scaled. It's still a different environment, right?
Yeah, it is. It's well, I can do that. And it's but I don't.
Yeah.
It's okay that you're
want
not.
to do that,
yes.
Then they look at that and they say, I used to be able to do that. And that kind of takes away that level of pressure, right? Because it doesn't matter what we used to be able to do. It's what phase are we in right now? Where's our journey heading now?
So true.
And if they could focus on that and have the support to focus on just being their best version moving forward from this point, that's what matters. And so it's great to see them connecting and having each other to to work with and make new friendships with. It's been really good.
Oh,
I love it.
I didn't think of it that
Yeah.
way at all. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like with injuries or anything, like I hurt my back. I was out for a year and CrossFit was my life. And it was hard because also coaching and everybody's like, I have to do the 15-pound bar. And I'd be like, I can't even pick that up.
You should be
I have to do
grateful.
PBs. That was going through my
Right.
mind a little bit, but I'm like, no, you're here to move. Like, I want you to move. I wish I could move like that. And just being around you guys has helped me. But I wouldn't do classes because it was like, I used to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I'd have to work out by myself or find our group that was just, we're here to move today.
Right.
You know, and it gives you that confidence, and it gives you that also, like, it helped me to be more self-aware of my body and realize, like, what is your end goal when you get older? To make sure that I can get off of the ground, you know, to make sure that I can sustain my ability to do things for myself, but also to be there and be like, hey, can you help me? Instead of being like, I should be able to do everything. There's, like you said, like different journeys. And as we go, like, what are we focusing on now? It should be changing. And no matter how many people say, I love change, when it comes to that, you do not.
We all wish we could be our old, 20-year-old self, at what we know now. But things change. And so it's okay. Like, I think there's something for everybody in this, and that's what's amazing about it. So, and there's always someone to relate to that's feeling the same thing, right? I mean, we all know somebody that's had, a child and is coming back, or has had an injury and is coming back. I mean, we have everything through this gym, I've seen. So
that's true.
Babies to hips to shoulders to this, and so they also get to support each other and like, well, pace yourself. My son just had, knee surgery. So he's dealing with a torn ACL, and he had just started some of our comp training stuff here and working with some of those athletes. And, he had to take a step back. And so he came in a few days after. He was here yesterday and just doing some upper body stuff. But he missed the community. Like, it's only been like a week, and he's just like, I'm going to go and I just want to see so-and-so. And so it was just getting in here and doing what he could, some basic things, but it was just being able to see the community and be around. And he knows he's got some time. He can't get out there and do everything what everybody's doing, but he has a place he can kind of just be with everybody. Be himself and be with everybody. And when he's ready to come back, he'll be back.
Yeah. Which is smart. So we have community inside. Let's touch on, is there anything that you guys do outside of the gym, like with fundraising, or like we have events or things like that, or competitions?
Well, we since we picked up the affiliate, the only competition we've had so far, we used to do Girls Gone RX here. We have put that on hold actually as of this year because we're reevaluating like the direction we're going to go with competition. So that's still something that Mike and I are discussing and working on, like where we're headed moving forward. But we do like to have community events and stuff. So we have a whole calendar of like things coming up this year. Outside the gym, I think the last one we did was we had a volleyball night, and everybody came out, and we had about food, and that was really fun. We really enjoyed that. And so we have that actually coming up again. I think next month we're doing our next one of those.
Nice.
So yeah, we love doing some different things. We've talked about pickleball. We've talked about.
I saw you guys
book
playing
club.
in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah. Levi, he's one of our he's one
Members?
of our coaches. He's a member. Yeah. He's amazing.
Cool.
He comes sometimes at 4. I mean, he's like 12 years old, and
Was he the one cheering us on in
oh,
class?
I'm sure he was.
Oh, man.
We're running, and he's like, you guys got this.
He's
And I
so
was like,
sweet.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How cool.
Their little
He was like all
family is
high-fiving,
amazing.
and I was like, oh, who is this?
Yeah, so we've talked about doing that, and so we're open, to whatever. We have to obviously, when it goes outdoor, we've talked about doing like atomic golf, and one of our members, works at Atomic Golf, and we've talked about activities there, and
That'd be cool.
Yeah, so we've got a few ideas of things we're bringing out this year, but it's fun when we can get together outside of the gym, and a lot of members actually naturally do that together already.
Oh,
like
yeah.
they, having
Let's
dinners
go
or
hiking,
parties,
or let's go,
hiking, or skiing, or boarding, or pickleballing. Like a lot of them already naturally do that. So now it's just a matter of trying to get things on the calendar for it, but we do have a few things lined up coming up. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, we love doing that.
Let's touch on CrossFit. So CrossFit as
The sport itself.
yeah. And I know this kind of doesn't touch on you like when we had affiliates last year. So last year was when they did the price increase and everybody had to be a level 2. How did you guys feel? Because you came to own it last year. How do you guys feel about that?
I'm fine with it. I felt like when I found out before we were affiliate owners what that fee was, I was actually a little surprised. I mean, I've owned a lot of businesses and I felt like, wow, that's all you have to do to be an affiliate. Like that's all you have to pay. And so I think the original fee amount was not, anything that was shocking to me. And I think the increase wasn't such a huge increase that it was something that would deter me from wanting to consider being an affiliate.
Yeah.
But that maybe comes from a little bit of my experience from other businesses. So if, like where this, maybe current affiliate owners that have experience being in this for many more years than I have, that was a little harder. Maybe for smaller affiliates that can maybe be a little more taxing. Yeah. But I think it was fine. We didn't have any issues with it at all. And I wasn't surprised with the increase. I think any business has to reevaluate and, see what it's going to take to be successful with current markets and where they're taking their business and what they're trying to accomplish with their business. And I think that, I think that as long as you're communicating these things and respectful the way you do that, I think that you'll have a positive response with it. I think that people will be okay with it.
Yeah. You're always going to have people who don't. And then
absolutely.
The other flip of the coin. I know when we were talking to a couple of affiliates, we do have like smaller ones who are like, it was very hard, but we love CrossFit. And then we had the other ones who are like, well, I was one of them who was paying like $500. And I'm like, but see, when we go into memberships and you're like, oh, because I knew them, they're paying, $50 where everybody's paying $250 because I don't know them. That's where I can see where CrossFit is like, hey, this is the level playing field. We can't do that. We can't just because they started with us, you get a rate, right? And I'm like, I can see that. And then having to take the level 2, and I was like, this is actually really good for owners and people who want to coach and do this. Like, I don't see. Yeah. And we haven't had like any affiliates who are like, level 2 is pointless. It was like, that was like a good thing to do. Yeah.
What business would you ever want to own that you're not investing in yourself, investing in your business, right? Yeah. I mean, so with coming together and partnering with Mike, he already had an L2. So like for us, it was easy. We were able to just roll right in. I had my L1. He had an L2. So, I'm looking to maybe do my L2. I was like, darn, I should have done it while we did it right here in our box with you.
You guys aren't going to have it again in like 6 months?
I don't know. We were open to it. We're open to it.
I feel like your facility and even Lisa and Pete were like, this facility is amazing. And I was like, it is.
It was really cute. He walked in, he's like, name badges. Like, oh my gosh, can we just do this all the time here? And I'm like, talk to your boss. We'd be open to it. So I think that's something that I'll look to do, but that's coming up this year. And, I think that requesting an L2, I mean, like that to me is still almost like bare bone request, that's like the foundational levels. Minimum, I mean, come on, it's not really, the program's great. You did the class. I mean, I think we saw all levels of, coaches in that even, that were coming in with different experiences. So I think, I don't think it's a huge request, I agree. The fee and the to have an L2, like, I think that's completely reasonable. You got to have some sort of standard, you got to have some sort of bar. And I think the bar is not too high. Honestly, I don't think it's that high, to be honest, to be an affiliate.
I think like the bar is more set for the affiliates who want to grow, and that's within their affiliate, right? Compared to what CrossFit's saying.
I mean, we're at a point where we want all our coaches to have an L2. So it's like,
and that's what we were doing, except for our newer ones who just, signed on with us. And our boss is always like, hey, once you get done with your level 1, okay, the next step is not redoing your level 1. It's going to get your level 2. And which I was like, that's very awesome to do. And then they did reimbursement and things like that for us. And as well. And I think that's like the biggest thing also that sometimes affiliates are missing is like the trickle down to their coaches and whether they're going to help them or do like their monthly meetings or checking in with them and saying like, how is everything going? How are the members, or even checking in with the members that how is the coaching going? How's this?
I mean, it's a very real thing. Like, to surface, I think why so many struggle with it is because there is a cost involved, right, to do this. And a lot of coaches, this is a part-time job maybe they have. And, you know, what they make to offset the thought of like investing more into it to level up is you know, just a tough decision to make, where a lot of gyms maybe are not encouraging it so much or don't support, you know, some sort of assistance with it. Yeah. It's tough for them to budget maybe something like that in to add that. Right. And so, I mean, I know that's a very real thing, you know, for them to invest their time and energy and finances to be able to keep, you know, getting, you know, get their L2. They maybe got the L1 very easily with something, or like, like I got mine because I was part of an ambassador program. And so the owners were like, we want every ambassador to have this and we'll take care of it. I was like, great. If you're going to, you know, sure, that's great, you know? And so I did it, you know, and, but so I know there's an investment there and I understand that. And I really respect and appreciate those that are willing to invest in themselves and do it, even knowing that like I'm part-time or, you know, maybe what they make maybe doesn't make sense or offset, you know, a lot of affiliates in that situation. So, you know, it's great to see when someone has just their own passion, desire to like, no, I want to be better. I want to learn more. I want to be able to bring this to the table. I want to be the best at what I'm doing at the level I'm at. And they're willing to do it. So, yeah.
What makes your affiliate unique? Why would people want to choose your affiliate? What do you think?
What do I think? Well, you know, that's a great question, because I would have to say that we do have a lot of great affiliates around here in Las Vegas. You know, I respect a lot of the affiliates. I know that all the owners are very passionate about what they do. I've gotten to know a batch of them over the years, and I know they love their communities. They're very invested in their communities, just like us. And I would probably say what makes ours unique is what we offer in exchange when they come in. I think that we provide a value, you know, to the member. Yeah. And I think that that's important to be able to say that you do that, you know, and truly believe it. Like, not just say, well, you know, we provide X, Y, and Z and it's worth this amount. Like, you know, no, I think we truly do. I think from the support of our coaching staff to the space we provide, to the programs we provide, to, you know, just our the whole community vibe that, you know, everybody's supporting each other. Like, I think we offer a lot. And I hope that the members feel that. And I hope that the members find value in that and feel that way. And I think they do, because I think we wouldn't be the numbers we are or the community size we are if they didn't, right? True. There's so many options. Everybody has options, and we know that, you know, and I think that it's important to never lose sight of that everybody has a choice. And if they're coming through your door, that you have to really respect and appreciate and love the fact that they're willing to spend their time and their resources here to be part of your community. And so that speaks volumes. So I'm always open. I love to hear the feedback from the community. I love to hear what they're thinking, what they feel, any ideas they have, because we don't know it all, right? Like, you know, we're learning and growing constantly. So, you know, what members bring to us and what they share with us is so, you know, important. I love to hear it, and good or bad, you know, good or bad, I'm open to it all. I want to know what we can do to be better and better, you know?
Yep. How can you fix something without knowing? True. Right? Yeah.
100%. All right. So to seal it all off, so this is the last question we ask all of our interviewees. If you were to go back and tell your past self, the person who was just starting CrossFit for the very first time when you were jumping into it with your daughter, like, what would be something you would tell that person now, knowing everything that you know now about that world?
I would probably tell them to be patient in the process. It is, you do not come into fitness and become what you envision a fit person to be or what you hope to be overnight.
Mm-hmm.
And I have personally lived that journey. You know, I've come from being very overweight and, you know, I've come from, you know, an injury here and there, and it is a process that you need to be consistent and patient with. And I've always said, take baby steps, like celebrate the small wins. And maybe that's not coming from someone else. Sometimes that's you turn around, just patting yourself on the back because only you know what that felt like to be different from the last time you did it. Like that box jump felt different. That double under felt different. Or I got that first double under, and you know, there's not always going to be someone to cheer you around every single time. And so I would probably say, be patient in the process, enjoy the journey, you know, and celebrate the small wins along the way. And you're going to be just fine if you do that, you know. Stay passionate about it. Be happy, you know, enjoy it. Like, it's okay to once in a while, like, be tough on yourself, you know, some tough love to yourself or to someone else. But at the end of the day, like, we're all in this together, like, to try and enjoy, you know, just being a healthier version of ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's okay where you're at in that journey, but enjoy it, you know, because this minute you stop enjoying it, it's what's it for?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So enjoy the journey, be patient with it.
Love that.
Nice. And then where can they find you?
They can find us. So we are on Instagram. We have our CrossFit Las Vegas site on Instagram, CrossFit LV, and is our website, CrossFitLV.com is our website.
Nice.
And we do offer like free trials. You know, people can come in and give us a try and check out a class, any class they want. We are on Instagram, CrossFit Las Vegas. So if they want to follow along and just kind of see some fun videos and pictures along the way, we have, you know, great pictures we take of the community. We catch them looking really fire.
Yeah.
So
That group
really
photo.
buff sometimes,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, my daughter does some photography for us and videography.
Nice.
So we get some good stuff. So like, yeah, there's that area of being able to follow us. And then anytime you drop into Las Vegas, feel free to come in. We're off Craig Road, 7091 Craig Road, West Craig Road. So feel free to make a pit stop and just pop in and say hello if you want to just check us out or get a workout in.
It's a great facility, great community.
Beautiful.
It's just amazing to be like fresh air.
Right.
I feel like in this affiliate.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, come drop in, give them a hey, and just come give them a workout. I mean, tons of people fly into Vegas.
They do.
Yeah. Pick this one. If you're here for like a couple days, pick this one, go to another one. But yeah,
Go
try
back
them
to your
out.
party.
You get off that 3 a.m. flight, come check
There
out
you
our
go.
4 a.m. class.
See? Perfect.
Before you hit the hotel and casinos.
There you go. That's where we're going. Let's go. Not just kidding.
It's been great having you guys out
Yeah,
here. It's been
thank
great getting to know you. Yeah, this is
thank
appreciate
you
you.
so much.
I know, it was
and
great.
let us know about any of future events.
Yeah.
We
for
can
sure.
put them out there, and we'd
thank
love to
you.
come back. And
We'd
Yeah.
love to have you back. You're welcome anytime.
Oh,
yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.
So if you feel like this podcast is your swig of pre-workout,
Yeah.
please make sure that you are subscribing to our YouTube channel. You are hitting the like and follow so you don't miss an episode.
That's
Why would you
right.
want to miss an episode? You don't want to do that. And also give us those 5 stars. You can leave a review on Apple Podcasts or comment on our Spotify creators.
That's right.
So also, if you have any recommendations of what you want us to talk about, to shout anybody out for
That's
hitting
right.
a new PR, to let us know to come visit your gym for our affiliate segment, or anything else about CrossFit related or how awesome we are, feel free to email us at savagelyscaled1@gmail.com. You can also DM us on Instagram, and that's at savagelyscaled. For don't be a Karen, be a Sharon. And keep sharing for us. Thank
That's
you so
right.
much.
Bye.
And until
We meet
at the whiteboard
I'm like,
again.
later.
She was already like,
Ta-ta.
bye guys. Bye.